It's Wednesday, my dudes. What's up? I, for one, am very pumped up about tonight. I've been getting the butterflies and everything for the last 2 hours since we decided the draft order. We are going to be doing, by we, I mean me, obviously. Avery was closing on his house tonight. I will be drafting in our second DFF Live League. It's going to be the second of literally, I'm sure, many dozens that we're going to be doing throughout August. But get ready, guys. We're going to learn a lot of stuff today, I think, as we continue to see people put their money where their mouth's at with where these guys are actually going in terms of ADP. I am super pumped to do this, and it's 6:30 right now. Came on 30 minutes early before the draft starts at 7 because I want to do a practice run. I want to do a mock draft with you guys. I don't want to leave everybody in the chat hanging who's not in the draft. I want you guys to be able to get a chance to come in and kind of flex your dynasty muscles as well, or not dynasty, your redraft muscles as well, and do a mock with me here. So I'm going to drop this in the chat. First come, first serve. And once it's full, we'll head over there. We're going to do 10 rounds of a short mock draft before the draft starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So big announcement too while we're doing this. We actually just launched over on the site the season pass. For any of you guys who have not signed up with code domain on flockfantasy.com, use this link I have pinned in the comments. The season pass is literally $34 for unlimited access to the site for the entire year until the end of 2025. So you will get each draft guide that every creator on the site has released. Our draft guide, FSCs, lands, Masons. You'll get 2 free start sit questions. You can thank us later for that, and 2 free trade question vouchers as well. Not to mention one-on-one access with Avery and I. You can get access to our Discord as well, where we're going to be very active heading into the season. Our updated rankings on a weekly basis for redraft. Like you guys, I'm telling you, this is one of the best deals that we have on the site right now. $34 for the season pass. For the entire rest of the year, you get full access there if you use code domain. So go over there, flockfantasy.com/domain. You get a 30% discount, which brings it to $34 for the rest of the year. I'm going to keep telling you guys about this throughout the stream because we are so excited to roll this out. We're going to be announcing it this week multiple times, but I'm telling you guys, if you want rankings, if you want really solid advice on start sit stuff week in and week out, like, please sign up, use code domain. So we are going to go head over here and do the mock. It is already full. It took 2 seconds to fill, and let's get this started. Here we go. We got LaMarche taking chase at the 101. So fun fact, when we did the randomized draft order, you always randomize it 3 times on Sleeper. I actually have the first overall pick. So we'll see who I end up taking there. I am not going to show my cards and tell you who I'm going to pick. This is Chris. Chris making the first comment here. Why blue, now orange? Red is the best color. Well, I mean, we could have red at some point. We'll see. Red sucks, all about team blue. Yeah, I mean, this is the orange league is what we're doing today. So congrats on 20K. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, let's everybody give Avery grief in the chat for not being on the 20K stream. We literally, this is the first time we streamed on DFF where we've had 20,000 subscribers, and we're going to be climbing. So this is literally all thanks to you guys. Really appreciate all the support you guys are giving us. Heck yeah. Chris is disappointed. He wanted to be the red league. Well, Chris, come on, man. It's fine. Get over it. I'm going to take Malik Neighbors here at the 1-9. Alex said this went by a lot better than Avery's. I feel bad for him. I tuned in on the stream, checked it out this morning, and I was like, oh man, he did finish a little bit, or he did start a little bit late. I had some issues at the studio. We're not going to have those issues at the studio anymore because we're going to have a new studio here in about a month. And Avery literally just closed on his house today, and we're going to be building a brand new, way better studio that's going to look super sick, and we're not going to have the internet issues that we've been having for quite a while. So I do feel for him there. I think you'll be surprised where guys go. Yeah, no, I guess you could say surprised. I'm anticipating being I guess somewhat surprised. Yeah, we'll see. But I'm ready. I'm ready for it. So like, I hope I'm not too surprised. I'm gonna try to anticipate where these guys are actually gonna go, and hopefully that helps my strategy specifically, because I want to dominate you all in this league. How do you get in these leagues? I'm a flocker on the domain side. Yeah, Marty. So if you are already a flocker on the site, you can go ahead and send us a DM to fill out the form to get into one of these leagues if you're a member already. So I will add as well for you guys that, holy cow, BTJ fell to me at the 2-4. Jeez Louise, I got to take that value. Again, for those of you who are not domain users on the site already, if you have not signed up over at vlogfantasy.com, I'm telling you guys, if you want to be a part of the live league, of the live league series in August on DFF, if you want a guaranteed spot in one of these live leagues, sign up for the season pass using code domain, and we will get you into one of these live leagues that we're going to be doing multiple times a week on DFF for all the way up until the start of the season. Appreciate your intakes. Yeah, no problem, man. Happy to help. Imagine Nathan started on time. Yeah, I made sure to eat earlier than we usually do over at the studio. The thing is, when we stream at the studio, we're also recording videos. Videos take a lot of time, a lot of prep, all that stuff. So we always end up like really up against it. It's a little bit easier when we're streaming at home because we're not doing anything else other than just working. So happy birthday, Nathan, says David Elliott. Thank you. It's not my birthday though. Thanks for spending it here with us. Hope the cake was great. If it was my birthday, I would actually have a cookie cake. Nathan in a Viking sandwich. I didn't even notice that. That's funny. Big happy birthday, Nathan. Happy 21st birthday. You know what I should... Thank you. It's not my birthday. And I am not 21. You're close, though. So what I should have done here, guys, is I should have drafted at the 101 in the mock to do like a ton of smoke screens for people so they'd think who I was going to take and be like, yeah, I totally love, some random... I can't even drop a name, or I'm going to give something away, I feel like. Yeah, everybody in the league is mad because they think I rigged it to get the first overall pick. Look, I think it's just as good to draft on the other side as it is to draft first overall. What's up, Bofa? Welcome in on the stream. 30K more for Tats. Yeah, you're right, man. 20K, very different than last night. Ridley for Eckler plus a projected late second. PPR, start 9. Dynasty Superflex. I have CD, Neighbors, Tet, Sutton, Olave. I'll take Ridley there. High Octane CMC plus HM build. Yeah, Nathan was at the 5 spot last night and only used tour rankings and got sniped every time I was going to take a running back. Oh, man. That sucks, dude. I hate getting sniped. That's how it goes sometimes. Use my rankings and got sniped every time. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm very sorry. I hope I do not get sniped tonight, but you never know. Let's see, I'm on the clock here again. Who is available? No one's available. Literally no one's available. Absolutely no one. Jeez Louise. Okay. Golly. Bold strategy, Team 11. Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton. Yeah, it's a bold strategy for me, too. I haven't taken a running back yet. Not a big fan of this. Interested to see who Team 11 gets at running back in the third. They obviously didn't watch today's strategy video. I know I obviously didn't watch today's strategy video that I recorded because look at where I'm at right now through the first 3 rounds. How to take the value, man. Zoinks, if you want to just submit a super chat or submit a trade question and then just add in the comments, hey, this includes a 28 pick on this side, that's totally fine with us. Thoughts on Waddle? I think his outlook's I think his floor's a little bit higher now that Jonnu's out of that offense. What happened to taking an RB in one of the first 2 rounds? Nathan not following his own strategy. Dude, everyone took the running backs that I wanted. Life sucks. Yeah, Nathan's birthday. Cool Stormtrooper album on your shelf back there. Thank you. Every time you guys mention it, I'm like, gosh, I gotta switch it up and stuff because I have a ton of other sets around my office that I don't really ever get to show off. So Maybe I should, you know, like put some other sets behind me every once in a while, shake it up, and see if any of you guys notice. Nathan's rankings confused me. They hated Nathan's ratings confused me. They hated my draft last night. Interesting. You'll have to show me your draft, man. Yeah, this is redraft, Sean. Not best ball. We do not, we don't do best ball. Redraft is much, much more popular. Heck yeah, Becca, welcome to streaming season. You know just as well as we do. I swear, every 2 seconds, Avery and I are like, Becca, I need a thumb for this. Becca, I need a thumb for that. You're literally making like 60 FF thumbs this week. For live. And then an additional 4 for the videos, you know. We already know you're taking Coplets to the one-on-one. You don't have to hide it. Yeah, you guys, you got me. You got me. Alex did a lot of sniping, he says. Yeah, so guys, just want to highlight this again. If you want to be a part of the Live League series, if you want a guaranteed spot in one of these leagues in August, follow this link, sign up with code DOMAIN. There is a season pass that we literally just launched at like midnight last night. The season pass is $34. If you sign up for the $34 season pass, that's full access to the site, all the draft guides, all of our rankings, which will be updated weekly during the season. You will get a guaranteed spot in one of these live leagues. It is $34 for full access for the entire season. I'm telling you guys, it's one of the best deals that we're going to have for DFF, and more to come with some of the news and offerings that we have for our draft guide, which will be launched very, very soon. Telling you guys, you do not want to miss out. So let's look here. We've got a couple of teams. See, this is not bad. Gibbs, Taylor. Look at 103. Gibbs, Taylor, and then he goes Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy. So he didn't go any wide receivers at all in the first 2 rounds. Gets double running back, dual elite running back essentially, and still ends up fine at wide receiver for the most part. I like this build quite a bit. B-Rob. Or Bijan Robinson with Lab McConkey, Kyron Williams, DK Metcalf, and Ted McMillan as well. Some good stuff. Yeah, Becca said, plus that super secret thing that drops soon. Plus that super secret thing, I'm telling you guys. Don't want to miss out. Thought about leaving the best ball league I'm in because it's annoying and not fun. Yeah, I mean, there are some good things about best ball. Here's the best thing about best ball. You set it, you draft, and you forget. So, like, you have a good chance at making money without any work in season because you're never setting up your lineup. So that is a nice thing about best ball. You essentially have unlimited capacity. Nathan, is it against the grain to go running back heavy, 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds? No, I do not think it is against the grain to do that. I do not think that is a bad thing to do necessarily. And I'll leave it at that. Okay. I will take some Caleb Johnson. We still have starters on waivers. QBs went very late. Yes, we've been noticing that in a lot of our drafts. QBs starting to go in the late 3rd, 4th round, your top guys, especially Lamar and Allen. It's pretty crazy. Allen Lamar fell into the 4th round last night. I did see that. Pretty wild. Drake in the 13 was stealing. Yeah. Drake London going early 2nd has actually been something that we've been seeing more often, which, again, do I understand it? Yes. Will I take the value every single time? Yes. Glitch, didn't mean to take Kittle. That's okay. Just a mock. We're going to have a 2-minute clock for the real live draft. That's going to be starting at 7 p.m. So we are literally 15 minutes away from my first real money redraft league this season. I am so freaking pumped. And you know, every time that we draft this early, every time that we draft like late July, early August, I am terrified that someone I draft is going to get some catastrophic injury that's going to make them miss half the season or more. It's terrifying. Thanks at $34 a steal. Also, I just bought a hat off the page and going to wear it at the awesome meetup, baby. Heck yes, Denick. We are so pumped to see you there at the meetup. And you're right, $34 is a steal for the entire season. I will check that out at some point, Ben. Thank you for sending that over to me. When we get an infinite blueprint and as soft hard buys, how do I figure out fair trades from there? You can use our trade calculator on the site. You can send us DMs, Zoinks. You can consult the domain community in the Discord as well. There's a trade questions chat that you can refer to as well. I would highly recommend every single one of those options that I gave you. In the 6th round, I'm not super sold on Laporta, but I've never taken him in a mock, so I kind of want to see what it makes my team look like if I select a tight end in this range. I've never done it before. Zach is living and dying by wide receiver running back for his redraft strategy. Up top, I assume is what you're saying. I think he's right for saying you have to take at least one running back. Went half a round early yesterday and now went a full round earlier than what we've seen. Yeah, I'll say this. I don't think Chase Brown has risen up a full round after Zach Moss got released, or you think he has, and that's who you're referring to here in this comment. Yeah, I think that if that's what merited him going up a half round, like I think that's kind of funny. What makes it unfortunate is that we can no longer get Chase Brown as a value. I could not have cared less that Zach Brown. Why do I keep saying Zach Brown? It's like Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Zach Brown band. It just sounds right. It just sucks that we can't get him at a discount anymore. And again, I could not have cared less that Zach Moss was a part of that offense before they cut him anyways. I didn't think he was going to make it at all. If anything, I'd be worried about Taj Brooks. They cut Zach Moss because of Taj Brooks. Thought you get him in the middle of the 3rd and you end up getting stuck with a wide receiver. Yeah, that's tough. This draft is going very different from last night. QBs went earlier this time, running backs quite a bit later. Yeah, I'm excited to see what ends up happening in the real draft that we do here pretty soon. Again, this is just a pre-draft practice mock. And then we're getting to the real stuff at 7 p.m. So tell your friends, if you haven't already, that we got a real draft coming on here in 12 minutes now. How do you like my team at 5? Tyler says. Saquon, Bowers, Higgins, McLaurin, Henderson, and Jamo. That was a ballsy start going. Running back, tight end, and then wide receiver. With your wide receiver room being Higgins, Terry, and Jamo, that's high risk, pretty high upside, but your running back room looks solid because you got Henderson in the 5th, and then you got Bowers, you have an elite tight end. So honestly, for that strategy, you couldn't have asked for a more ideal start there. That was pretty solid. Is Caleb Johnson RB1 in Pittsburgh? Absolutely he is. This mock tells me my running back picks went later and I got solid value for them. Yep, I agree. Someone in my league last year got Chase, Jefferson, Henry, Achane, Mixon, Kamara, Hurts, and Terry. Was he playing in an 8-team league? Had to have been playing in an 8-team league. At least a 10-team. Ben says, I want the apron. We might do the apron giveaway again. It was a hit. Real Money League, C-Dub, yes, it is a real money league starting at 7 p.m. in 11 minutes. I'm literally like counting down the minutes. I'm so excited. Dead serious. In a rebuild, would you trade away Jordan Mason for a 2nd, 3rd, and Jordan Whittington? Yes, I would trade him away for a 2nd. Moss wouldn't have made a difference. I totally agree, Tiny Goose. You are totally correct. And that's why I think it's unfortunate that, honestly, I wish Zach Moss had just stayed on the roster so that there are enough people that were worried about him eating into Chase Brown's workload that we could have continued to just get him at a really good bargain in the mid-3rd, and now we can't. Yeah, I feel pretty decent about my recovery. I went with a proven guy in Chuba, and then I got Caleb Johnson, the high upside rookie at the 5'9". I feel pretty good about that. Nathan, do you pivot off wide receiver value falling and reach for running back if you don't have one in the 1st round or 2, especially if you're in the middle spots like 5 to 8? Let me read that again. Do you pivot off wide receiver value falling and reach for running back if you don't have one in the 1st round or 2? I have a hard time reaching for anyone in any draft ever. Like, I mean, that's it, and you can tell by my start here. I almost never recommend starting with 3 wide receivers in a draft, and I literally had to take Neighbors, BTJ, or Garrett Wilson. Otherwise, my next best pick was freaking Kenneth Walker, and there was not a chance that I was going to draft him in the 3rd round. So I think that kind of answers the question for you, if that makes sense. No, I autoed Baker. That's fine. I was considering him. Turn off auto. He was one of my 2 options. Yeah, David Elliott, Zach Brown band, of course. Heck yeah, dude. Favorite Zach Brown band song? Drop it in the chat. Is Derrick Henry a good pick at the 110.5 PPR 14-team redraft? Yes, especially in a half PPR. Running backs should be valued higher than wide receivers in general in a half PPR. Can I join one of these without being an annual member? Bryce Long? Yes, sir, you can. We literally have the best possible option for you if you don't want to be an annual member. I will guarantee you a spot in the league if you sign up with Code Domain for the season pass. The season pass is literally like a third of the cost of the annual Motherflocker tier, and you get access to the site, all of our rankings and everything for the rest of 2025. So this is valid all the way through the end of the fantasy season. You get full access to the site, and it's $34 for the entire thing. So you'll get access to our draft guides, our rankings, everything. And you can just send us a DM on Discord, and we'll make sure that we get you in one of these live leagues. That's flockfantasy.com/domain season pass. It's like the first thing that pops up. Of course, I have 8 seconds now. Crap. I'll take Jennings. Is literally the first thing that pops up now in if you haven't signed up yet. It just season pass, super easy. You cannot miss it. That's the deal of the month right now. So hopefully that helps, Bryce. Feel free to ask any additional questions if you have any. We're happy to help you out. What do you think about my team at the 1-6? CD, and then you go double running back, Chase Brown, Kamara, and then you have Adam Sutton. I like it. Sutton's a good value in the 5th round, and then Swift and Bo Nix. I think you've done a pretty good job so far. Chicken Fried. Chicken Fried is a must listen. It's like a staple in July. I like so many Zach Brown band songs. If you want like a slow one that's really sad but is beautiful, Colder Weather slaps. It's a good song. What a team, Nathan. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Not too bad for a mock. You know, maybe maybe I do wish this was actually like the real draft. 7 minutes away, guys, from starting our my first real league. What are your thoughts on going Bijan with the 101 and a 12-man, no mandatory tight end slot, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex? I'm okay with it. I wouldn't recommend it, but I don't have an issue with it. I think you've got a big tier of 6 guys now, maybe 5, up top, where if any of them went at the 101, I'd be like, okay. I have an opinion on who I think should go 101, but I am not as I'm not as I guess like what am I trying to say? I'm not as super opinionated about it as I have been in years past about who should be going 101, 102, etc. Everyone's production upside in the top 5 to 6 picks is almost the same. Is Henry a better pick than like an Achane, Gentry, or McCaffrey, or is it just a pick 'em? Henry is right in that. He's right in that tier. I have him ranked in the same tier. So I think it's a pick 'em. I think it's up to you. Chicken fry or Castaway? Yeah. Yeah, Castaway's good. Got a decent running back after wide receiver. Yeah, I will say my recovery, not too bad as long as they pan out, obviously. Do you private the channel on non-football season? Do I private the channel? You have to tell me what you mean by that, Fire, not gonna lie. We do Dynasty, so the DFF channel is still active. Well, we don't do as much DFF content in the off season up until so between like January and April, there's not a ton of DFF content, and then we start picking it up after the NFL draft. But between like January and April, Dynasty's a full go. So if you know what Dynasty fantasy football is, that's where you will find us consistently in the off season. Okay, so I'm up here in a couple of picks. Where are we at? The 9th round right now? Okay. Okay. What do I want to do here? I will take Dobster, I guess. Rodney said, trust me, I know this is a dumb question, but how do I DM you on Discord to get in one of these leagues? Rodney, if you are already a member with Code Domain, or you have signed up for the season pass with Code Domain, which you can get to right here on this link, flockfantasy.com/domain, then you literally just go up on the interface on Discord. You just go to like send a direct message, and you can find my username in there. If you want to know what my username is, it's Nathan.Schmidt. So you if you don't remember, you can just go over to the general Dynasty domain Discord, and you can just ask anyone, and they'll tag me, and then you can just find me with that tag. So, but yeah, don't be a stranger, man. Happy to help you out. Nathan, are you showing your real draft live by any chance? Yes, Sean. I'm showing my real draft live in 4 minutes. Just wanted to do a warm up here for everyone who is not in the live league, the Real Money Live League. Pop said, when do you and the other creators draft? Love your guys' stuff, by the way. You mean in the Flock League? Flock League we will be doing in the near future. It will be in August, in a couple of weeks. So that will be out in no time. We have a video coming out actually pretty soon where we announce who the next... I need to take a running back here. I will take blue. We actually announce who the 12th member of the Flock League is. It's a fan, because we had you guys submit all those applications. Highway 20 ride. Yep. That's a good one. Why Johnson over Harvey? That's a good question. I view them in the same tier, honestly. Harvey has better draft capital. Caleb Johnson probably has a safer floor, because you've got Dobbins in the backfield with Harvey. Harvey might be more of a receiving skill set guy, and we don't know how slow he'll start the season, how quick he'll start the season. With Caleb Johnson being paired with Jaylen Warren, you know exactly what Warren's going to be doing in that offense, and honestly, he's got pretty limited opportunities. Caleb Johnson really has that bell cow workload upside to begin the season, whereas I think Harvey might start a little bit slower. Again, that's kind of just a shot called. I could be totally wrong about that. I think I just prefer Caleb Johnson like a spot or two over Harvey, but I would still view them in the same tier. Thoughts on the 103? Yeah, no, I think whoever drafted here at the 103 did a pretty solid job. All right, guys, we're going to switch over here to the real draft. This is the Domain Redraft Orange League. This is the channel's second Real Money live draft of the extensive series that we're going to be doing throughout August. We want to give you guys as many opportunities to get into one of these live leagues as possible. And again, if you want to get a guaranteed spot in one of these live leagues, because I know there's going to be a ton of demand for them, then you can sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier. Or not the annual Mother Flocker. Well, you can sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier, and we will guarantee a spot for you there as well. But if you sign up for the season pass, we will guarantee you a spot in one of these live leagues. So would highly recommend that. All right, I'm going to answer a couple more questions, like a minute's worth of questions, and then we're going to be a go here at 7:00. Rodney got the season pass this morning. Didn't realize it could get me in one of those leagues. Rodney, send us a DM. You can send me a DM. You can send Avery a DM. You can send Tommy Peanuts a DM, and we will get you hooked up with that sign-up sheet. You can just send us a screenshot of your season pass, and we'll get you in the league. I'm addicted. Can't wait for the season to start. Neither can I, man. I am so freaking ready for it, man. So ready for it. All right. Here we go, guys. We are officially a go. I have the first pick in this draft. Let's do this. I need to turn off that sound. I apologize. Okay, so I got 2 minutes left here. Like I said earlier, I am going to just walk you through my rationale for this pick, because there's not going to be anyone left after this tier that I think is the 6-player tier. I really am looking at a tier here that's like Chase, Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, CD, and Jefferson. And honestly, if you were to take any one of those guys 101, I wouldn't have an issue with it. Safety probably lies with a guy like J-Jeff. I don't think I would take J-Jeff 101. I think the upside, not let alone the positional value, lies with Jamar Chase and where he's going right now. So I am going to go ahead and select him. You obviously, if you guys consistently tune into this channel, you saw that video that we did a couple weeks ago that was really mainly about Saquon Barkley and what we thought about his price being pretty much a consensus at that point, top 2 pick. And since then, Saquon has started to fall. But we're basically saying, hey, there's no more requirements for you to take a 28-year-old running back at the 101 because all these top-end wide receivers, while it used to be an outlier season for any wide receiver ever to score 22 plus points per game, it's happening on an annual basis for like the top 2 to 3 wide receivers. So I think it's honestly safer taking Jamar Chase. And there goes Bijan at the 1-2. Nathan, don't punt the draft at pick 1. I'll try not to. I will say for having, thanks Hannah, for being one who had, I think, the 101 once or twice last season, where you literally were locked into taking CMC. You had to take CMC, which looking back, you didn't have to, but hindsight's 2020. The teardrops were always happening before you got back at the 101. So like you couldn't get that big tier that was in the second round. It would fall off right at the 212. It was actually awful. Like it sucked. And this year, I don't think it's nearly as bad. I think everyone is very even across the board at every single pick this season. And that's not something that we really saw last year. Show me how drafting at 1 is done. I hope I can. I hope it goes well for me tonight. Nihal says, is there a giveaway this stream? Yeah, I can do a giveaway. You guys let me know what you want. Rooting for the 1-5 spot. Actually, I don't have the fancy chat thing for the giveaway. Might have to do it a different way. We'll see. We'll see. Pretty into this draft so far. Saquon Barkley at the 103, Jahmyr Gibbs at the 104. Okay. This is all pretty standard so far. Nothing here is really surprising me. Not going to lie, I did consider trading back. And then any offers that I had going out, I just decided not to offer because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to screw with stuff in my first draft of the year. Anna still wants a windshield cover. Yeah, we might do a couple more of those giveaways in the near future. Your Lego collection? Absolutely not. I would die before I gave up my Lego collection. I love the 2-3 turn for the early pick, guys. Yeah, I don't mind the 2-3 turn either, actually. There are some... Whoo! Puka Nacua at the 1-5. That is one that I have not seen. I haven't even seen that in mocks. Puka at the 1-5 is... That is bold, given some of the injury struggles that he's had historically. But honestly, you're not wrong. I mean, his production upside is pretty much the same as Justin Jefferson's. Puka has been absolutely tearing it up in training camp. It's kind of insane. Anna said, did you hear I accidentally entered to be in this league last night trying to help someone and technically won, but declined. I have plans. That's unfortunate, Anna. We'll get you in another league. I personally think being in the middle of the draft is the toughest position to draft in this year. Yeah, I mean, it's... I see what you mean. There are some teardrops that, like, you don't necessarily... like, that you kind of hit and they suck. Specifically, honestly, in the second round. Because at the 1-2 turn here, there's a drop-off, like, after the third or fourth pick. And then you are stuck there over the next couple of picks. And then you're kind of a slave to... whoever is selected at the 2-3 turn as well, which is pretty pivotal. Yeah, that was people's favorite position to draft from last year, and it's changed a lot. And honestly, one of the big reasons because Jamar Chase was going like 5th overall to 7th overall. I think Mason in the Flock League last year got chased like 7th overall. That will never ever happen again, unfortunately. You don't like the end of the draft this year. Okay, that's interesting. I think there's definitely more risk at the end of the 1-2 turn this time around. 107.11 live right now. I know, getting CeeDee Lamb at the 1-7. Golly. CeeDee Lamb is this year's Jamar Chase in terms of the bang for your buck that you're going to be getting at price, in my opinion. Puka upside at the 105 is great, but much lower floor. I agree. The much lower floor is he gets hurt. So Neighbors at the 110 is nuts. That is also a good value. I like that a lot. Is this a hot take? I'd rather have Neighbors and Puka over Amon-Ra St. Brown. What do you guys think about that? Amon-Ra was technically more productive on a total points basis last season, but Neighbors and Puka just seem to show more upside compared to what we saw from Amon-Ra last year, which was kind of a step back from what he's demonstrated in previous seasons. Arcbrick said I also won, but Avery said he wanted you to have a chance, so he re-rolled. The state of the NFL, BTJ had only 3 100-yard games, and he goes... What do you mean? Goes like in the... Well, I mean, a lot of it is his big play upside, how he gets a lot of touchdowns. That's a big part of it, I think. Neighbors team last night was the best one. Yeah, who took Neighbors? Someone took Neighbors, I think, after Avery. Avery took Amon-Ra, which I probably would have taken Neighbors if I was him, but Amon-Ra is objectively the better offense. It's not even close. So Amon-Ra is a lot safer. I feel like we always say the 2-3 rounds look better than the year before, and then it ends up being the same. I don't know about that, Arc. Last year, like, we objectively hated the end of the second round. We hated it. I don't think we were in that group of people that liked the end of the second round because you were forced to take Debo and Ayuk, and we did not like those picks. We didn't like those at all. We didn't like Waddle either. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the case for people that say that they like the 2-3 turn every single year, but we don't necessarily say that. This is a nice welcome change from last year. Because there was a big teardrop after the middle of the second round last season. It made it really ugly to pick at the 2-3 turn. I feel you have to go risk at the end to get the same upside the front is giving you. Yeah, that's a fair argument. Neighbors is injured. I don't know. Neighbors still balling out. I think people are overplaying the toe injury. He's had the toe issue dating back to LSU, and he said it's literally like a cleanup surgery that he's put off because it's so minor. Ben disagrees. Love Neighbors because we already saw his floor and it's really high. Yeah, he's a target machine. Amon-Ra is the safest pick in fantasy, period. You might not be wrong. I don't know. I think Jefferson is safer. Neighbors was picked before. Oh, it was before Avery. Okay. So he took Amon-Ra over Puka. Because Puka would have gone after him. So, okay, Bucky goes a little higher than I'm used to seeing here. This has been an interesting start to the second round. So you got your run of receivers here, Amon-Ra, Neighbors, Nico, BTJ, Achane, CMC, Henry, and Bucky. So you follow up 4 wide receivers with 4 running backs. Big drop off there. And then you go London. London, objectively the best value at the 2.5. Flockomatic, Kingdom 12. You reached on Genty. If you had taken anyone other than Genty at the 1.8, you would have my favorite draft right now because you got a freaking smash of a value at the 2.5. Because honestly, like, you could have gotten that same start if you were drafting at the 1.12 or the 1.11. I think you could have taken Neighbors or Amon-Ra St. Brown and then started with double wide receiver, which again, generally we don't recommend. But I still think like that's probably on the high end of where I would take Genty. I do like Genty's value in general, though. I'm not saying it was a bad pick. I'm just saying that was definitely on the higher end of what I'm used to seeing for Genty. Yeah, I mean, getting London at the 2.5 is broken. That's ridiculous. Puka Nacua and Bauer starts. Good grief. Neighbors and Derek is a perfect start. Yeah, a lot of good starts for these people in the back half. I'm very interested to see who makes it to me at the end. I also value the watchability of teams. I like drafting players on fun teams, so I would go Amon-Ra anyway. Interesting. I've never heard that take before. So if you don't have fun watching the Giants, Even though Neighbors was a top 5 wide receiver, you wouldn't draft him, is what you're saying. I wanted to take London at the 2-3, but Henry was still on the board. Yeah, no one could really go wrong here. Who was the surprise pick that ended up getting a ton of people good values? Nico went higher than normal, and Puka went higher than normal, which pushed a lot of players back into the early second that you can't really pass up on. So that's what went down. Jefferson already injured. Yeah, he did tweak his hamstring, which I am worried about. You're right. That does keep him from being one of the safer options up top. You are correct. I forgot to mention that. Chase Brown and JT. Okay. So I'm up now. You got 2 guys that went double running back here right next to me. Saquon, Chase Brown, and then you got Bijan and JT. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take JSN. I'm going to take Kyron Williams. That's a pretty ideal start for me. Again, 2 running backs after the first 3 rounds. A little more ideal, but to get JSN at the 212, which is on the low end of where he generally goes, I got to take JSN there. I am totally happy with that. And I'm sure I sniped Peefy and RWP, one of those guys, if they were wanting to get JSN on the back. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Alex. Fun equals good, basically, which is a contributing factor to producing IMO, so I get it. Yeah, that's fair. I will say, though, I think that the good players and bad offenses, I think oftentimes those guys transcend bad situation and produce if they're good enough a lot of times, at least in recent years. Neighbors, BTJ, I mean, even dating back to 2022, you had guys like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, London, all really exceeding expectations in terms of production. London didn't blow your socks off, but I mean, a lot of those guys were pretty phenomenal at price. Garrett Wilson clears. Yeah, Garrett Wilson I like in the 3rd round. That's a little early, though. I like him in the mid to late 3rd better. What's the earliest you would take Chase Brown? Because I have him ranked right under Bucky. Take him mid-second, but his ADP is late 2nd or 3rd. If you want to take him mid-second, that's fine. I'm more comfortable taking Chase Brown late 2nd, early 3rd. I like Bucky a little bit more because Bucky's just more efficient with his touches. Chase Brown, we like Chase Brown because of his volume. Chase Brown, middle of the pack at best in terms of efficiency. And he is, as a receiving back, he'll get some dump downs, but he is one of the least efficient receiving backs that I think I've ever seen. Get a ridiculous amount of volume in that range. So he's like 5 or 6 yards per reception. Which for a lot of running backs getting that opportunity, they almost always average more. So he is like well below average there, which is concerning. So it's not all rainbows and butterflies with Chase Brown. It honestly is almost, just because of the volume alone, it's almost a take your medicine pick, in my opinion. Avery's a little bit higher on Chase Brown than I am. But I don't think he would take Chase Brown any earlier than I would. So all that to say. There goes Marv at the 3-4 and Higgins at the 3-5. Marv going a lot earlier in these real money drafts than he usually goes in mocks. I've seen Marv go 3-4 turn a lot in almost every single mock. And now that we're having people put money where their mouth's at, they are actually betting on Marvin Harrison more than they do, more than we thought they would. So that's been a surprise. Same settings as the Flock League. Well, we're not doing defense and kicker in this draft. I don't know if we'll be doing defense and kicker in the Flock League this year. That is TBD. But very similar, yes. PPR, all that stuff. Start 8, yes. Basically the same. London already broke out last year, IMO, but yeah, room to go even higher with Penix. Yeah. I'll use the watchability of a team as a tiebreaker. I only do that when the players are close to my rankings. Yeah. We have NFL football, all caps, tomorrow. Rah. Yeah. Freaking pumped, dude. I'm going to turn that on, watch the Hall of Fame game for 5 minutes and turn it off and watch something else. but at least football is back. How early is too early for Bowers? First round. I would not take Bowers in the first round. Anywhere in the second, I can't blame you for taking him. 150 targets last year. It's ridiculous. Thoughts on JSN this year? Well, you know my thoughts on him. I just took him at the 212. I think he has a really, really good outlook this season. The vacated targets with Lockett and DK leaving, I think well outweighs the potential risk of Sam Darnold coming into that offense. I feel like everyone right now is just like, oh, Sam Darnold's either going to suck or be amazing. Why can't he just be okay? And if he's okay, like Geno Smith was okay last year, JSN's going to produce, guys. I also think Cooper Kupp has lost more than a step. And I think Cooper Kupp will get targets in the slot, but I think it really is just, I think it's going to be JSN's game in the receiving game. And I did snipe Golden Ape with JSN. RIP. Garrett Wilson is undervalued this year. I do believe Garrett Wilson is undervalued going in the mid to late third. There go all of your top three quarterbacks, Daniels, Allen, Lamar, in the third this time around. So while all of them went in the fourth in Avery's draft yesterday, all of them go in the third this time. Hampton, probably my second favorite pick so far, going at the 3-7. Tyreek Hill, got some red flags with Tyreek Hill right now, but I don't blame you taking him in the mid-third. I am not kidding. I almost took Amari and Hampton at the 3-1. I was going to take potentially JSN and Hampton. That's how much I like Hampton this year. Bonpeefy said you sniped Kyron, not JSN. So what I'm hearing is I sniped both of you at the same time. This draft is so different. Marvin Wilson were the best wide receivers left at the turn last night. Yep. A lot of things have changed here. And these guys back here are all going to benefit from these QBs going late third. Everybody here. Tyreek Hill is undervalued. Yeah, we would tend to agree with you until we saw his reception perception, and it was actually unbelievable how much his efficiency fell off as a route runner. Again, independent of Tua being on the field or not being on the field, Tyreek Hill took a step back. Like we have not seen that in 5 years. He has been 90th percentile in every single metric for 5 years, and he was 60th percentile almost across the board. It was really, really bad. So you basically have to bet on him taking a step up this year with his hand not being an issue, but I mean, he's got his hand wrapped right now in training camp. So I think there's inherent risk taking Tyreek Hill, but the upside is undeniable. Okay, there goes Kamara at the 312. I think that's a great pick. And again, guys, to those of you who are joining in maybe for the first time or are not a part of the community over at flockfantasy.com, if you use code DOMAIN, we're doing this live league series for legit the entire month of August, all the way up to the beginning of September, all the way up to the beginning of the season. And we're going to be doing a ton of these, as many as you guys want to be in, we will do. And we have this new thing that we launched on the site called the Season Pass. It is $34 if you use code DOMAIN for complete and total access to the site through the end of the 2025 season. So through the end of 2025, $34, you will get all of the draft guides on the site. You will get all of our rankings. You will get full access to our Discord and our community there. 2 free start-sit questions, which will come in handy during the season. 2 free trade questions as well. There are a ton of perks to getting the season pass, and I'm telling you guys, you do not want to miss out there. If the annual Mother Flocker tier is too much for you, which is totally understandable in the redraft community, the annual pass is like $97. You're getting full access to the site with the season pass for $34. So use code DOMAIN. I will drop that in the chat here as well if you're interested. But we will keep you guys posted when our draft guide comes out this week as well. There goes Kittle at the 4-2, Devontae Adams at the 4-1. Eric sniped me in yesterday's draft. Yeah, Avery was saying that Eric was killing everybody. He was like, I can't believe I was drafting with Eric. I was like, dang. RIP. Can I ever pass on Tyreek Hill there? I don't blame you if you do. Or if you don't. Hampton at the 107 is exactly where he went yesterday. 307, I think is what you meant. Yeah. I think he's one of the highest upside values in the third round. Would you bet for second years like Odunze or Marv, or for talented but not so hyped Ridley and Pickens? I'd bet on all four of them. Legit. Odunze, Marv, and Ridley are your ones. Pickens is your two. So that would tell you kind of the order that I would be okay taking them. Lamb, Brown, Hampton is sexy. Yeah, it is. That might be my favorite draft so far. DK Metcalf is killing it right now. CD, AJ Brown, Hampton. We'll see who he takes here at the 4-6. Tet goes at the 4-3. Holy early. That is crazy early. That might be even earlier than where Avery's comfortable taking him. Avery is certified higher on Tet McMillan than I am in redraft this season. I am comfortable taking Tet in the mid-5th. He's comfortable taking them in the mid to late 4th. I think the 4-3 is even earlier than he would take him. I like the Rashee Rice pick, honestly. I'm betting on Rashee Rice being suspended for 2 to 3 games. Hall of Fame games tomorrow. That's right, Torsten. This is Mason. He says, how the heck did Kyron fall behind Jefferson? Are these shots fired, Mason? Are you firing shots? He is firing shots at me. Come on, dude. That was a last year thing. And I was right. They had a point per game difference. You know, I swung and missed with Bowers. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life, was trading away Brock Bowers. After I was the smartest person in the world for taking him in the 8th round. Mason doing research on his league mates for the Flock League. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure he's spying on all of us. It's okay. I do a lot of spying myself as well. Mason, you don't know what's coming for you this year. I need to come up with some better bets whenever we play each other. And a less than 3 for hearts. Love you too, Mason, but not really. You're the worst. So we have Harvey and James. Oh my gosh. RJ Harvey at the 4-5. Whoo! Man, that's early. All Garrett Wilson truthers got burned last year. Yes, they did. If you mean by like truther, you mean like rational truther or like Corey level truther? I feel like you're less burned if you were just like a moderate truther. But yeah, no, he ended up being a bad pick. He ended up being worse than I thought he would be. I thought there was a decent amount of risk taking Garrett Wilson, but like, no, I did not expect him to be that disappointing. And he still finishes a wide receiver 1. The turkey hat bet was so good though. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish it ended up being on Mason's head. But at the end of the day, I picked like the best product out there. That it ended up being kind of fun to wear. You know what sucks too is I lost the hat. I'm gonna have to get another one. That thing was so fun, and then we moved, and my wife threw it away. She was like, "You're never gonna use this again." I was like, "What do you mean?" And then she threw it away. So I was pretty bummed about that. Back to back, Harvey, Cook, and Chuba. I would have taken Chuba over Harvey for sure. I prefer Chuba over Cook, but probably in the same tier there. Said, dang, some goose in this draft. Yeah, I mean, it's all a matter of perspective. I mean, if you hit on Tet McMillan, you're probably hitting big on Tet McMillan at the 4-3. That is higher than I'm comfortable with, though. You're cracking me up with that turkey hat. There was no other way to do it. I mean, what was I going to do? Be miserable wearing the turkey hat? Like, I was already so miserable because I just humiliated myself with making legitimately one of the worst trades in the history of ever. One of the worst trades in the history of ever that didn't involve like dev collusion. So, you know, at that point, you either have to just choose to be miserable for the rest of the year or try to have fun with it. And I didn't want my Christmas season to be ruined. Winter is one of the best seasons of the year. Fall and winter is one of the best seasons of the year. Football, watch football, enjoy. I self-imploded because I love Puka Nacua so much. And then I saw him come back healthy and get me one game away from getting to the playoffs. So yeah, I had fun. Flock League was peak content. It's going to be peak content this year too, man. We are very pumped. Ari threw it away? I know. I have this memory of her like telling me in passing while I'm sure I was packing or like showering or something. And she was like, I'm throwing this away. And I was like, okay. And then thinking back, I was like, what? How did I let that fly? It's all right. I mean, it was a... I'm sure there's plenty more of them. I can get another one. Will I wear it again though? I don't know. I mean, I kind of gotta move on. I can't be a turkey forever. I'm gonna suck again. I need to be more than a turkey this year, or I will be depressed. Okay, I'm up now. There goes Hurts, Sutton, Evans, and you got Walker. Big run of running backs here that goes. Okay. A lot of different avenues I could take here. A lot of different ways I could go about this. This is where it does kind of get disgusting, and there's not really a pick that I absolutely love. But there are some picks where it's like, yeah, you just gotta make that pick. So I will go ahead. Oh, man. You know what? Watch this. I'm going to take Henderson with my first pick. I got to do it. I got to take DK. No. Terry's fallen way further than he should. But I prefer DK. Holy crap, this is hard. I'm about to... Crap! Oh my gosh. Who do you guys think I'm going to take? Ugh. I'm tempted to take another running back here, guys. Tempted. Oh my gosh. I'm literally so at a loss. I've got a billion people telling me Terry. Terry does not sit well with me this year, guys. And it's not because of the contract stuff. He's the ultimate regression candidate. Holy crap. All right, I'm taking DK. Taking DK. We'll see the mayhem that happens over the next full 2 rounds until it gets back to me at the turn. I am betting on some guys making it to me at the 6-7 turn. Essentially. Let me know what you guys think, how insane I am for not taking Terry McLaurin. Even if he's regressing, Terry as your wide receiver 3 is crazy work. No. Chris says no. Yeah, RWP gets Terry McLaurin. Team DK wins. DK over Terry, that's nuts. Here's the thing, guys. Terry McLaurin's target volume decreased last year, and his touchdowns tripled from what we're used to seeing. DK Metcalf is also a 1. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just saying. Yeah, I put a lot of thought into it. I anticipated who was going to be there. I will say I did not anticipate Terry being there and for me to have to even make that decision. But it does make it difficult. And just because there's a faller, quote unquote faller like Terry McLaurin, what I'm used to seeing in mocks with Terry going in the mid-4th does not mean that's what Terry's real value is. And I don't believe that Terry's guaranteed to outproduce DK Metcalf this year. I definitely don't think DJ Moore is either. Now, last year Terry was frustrating, and JD would always target Ertz in the slot guy. As good as Terry ended up being last season, he actually was very boom bust. He had some very disappointing weeks. I'm not trying to talk down Terry because he had a great season last year. In PPR, he was a lot more consistent than he was in non-PPR. But again, a lot of that was his touchdowns. It's pretty wild. So I'm betting on DK this year. I honestly, I could look back at that draft and be like, yeah, maybe I should have taken Terry. But I want to see how this plays out. DK has 50-year-old Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. And 50-year-old Aaron Rodgers supported 2 wide receiver 1s last year. The best thing about DK Metcalf in the 5th is that with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, he's not going in the 1st round like Garrett Wilson was last season. He's going in the 5th. I don't think we can double count the disappointment of the Jets offense last season when everyone there was overpriced, and that's why they were disappointing. If Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams were all going in the 5th round last year, they would have been league winners. DJ Moore is one of the few players I have at least around lower than consensus. No thanks this year. He had a eye-opening, awful reception perception last year. He was one of the most inefficient route runners that I've seen produce at the level that he did last season. Yeah, Sleeper shows old stats. You just look at the player cards, just click on a player and shows all their data. A lot of people high on DJ Moore, a lot of people low on DJ Moore. Let me go back and see here. How many people said, okay, we got DJ Moore, DK. We have a pick and start in there. Terry or Worthy, Burrow, Judkins, Burrow, Connor, DK. Okay, so what I'm gathering here is that we were in a tier, and it doesn't really matter who you take. Terry, Moore, Burrow, Terry, Terry, Burrow, Pickens, Terry. Some people thought I cooked. At least some people like the Henderson pick. Mason said I ordered a crazy amount of props for the draft. You already have props, really. Going to be on level 100. Heck yeah. I'm pumped, dude. I don't know if you're still on the stream, Mason, but do we have... I'm excited to see what the board looks like this year. Did you get a board, like a different board than like the stick-on last time? We're going to do the same type of thing. I'm pumped. The venue for where we're doing the draft too is going to be sick. Oh, someone just got traded to the Mets. Halsey got traded to the Mets. I've got a guy who's helping us get some props for the some props for the new studio, like new frames and stuff, pictures, autograph pictures and photos. He's at the National Sports Convention or the National Sports Car Convention or whatever, and there's like a ton of memorabilia there. Telling you guys, the new studio is going to slap. So there goes DJ Moore finally. There goes Worthy. So again, I don't feel bad about taking DK if all those guys went a half round later. I think the most controversial thing is that I didn't go with Terry, which I totally understand. Honestly, I could be wrong about it. Travis Hunter at the 5'8", that's a little earlier than I'm comfortable with. Devonta Smith, George Pickens, all those guys I was looking at, and they all went well after DK and Terry. So I think I was at least between those two players. I think I was right taking one of those two guys. DK is also not as good as Garrett Wilson is, so he will be able to adjust. Or so will he be able to adjust? You are correct, but counterpoint to that counterpoint, it's DK and no one else. So you had Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams for 2/3 of the season, and this year it's literally just DK. So that is a good point. You are correct about that. But again, I'm not betting on DK. I'm not even betting on DK having to be a wide receiver 1. If he's a mid to high end wide receiver 2, totally cool with me. At 5th round prices, I'll take it. Nathan, I know who you want. If there are ball knowers, you won't get him. Do you know who I want? Do you know? It's our Colts. It's our team. We bleed blue. It's our Colts. Whether we win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, has 2 sucky quarterbacks. We're going to go 0-17 this year. This is our Colts. Go Colts. Nay. Nathan, would you prefer Team 7 if they took AK instead of Daniels and Evans instead of Harvey and keeping the rest of their picks? Probably would have taken a running back. I would have taken, honestly, Brees. Brees or Alvin Kamara I would have been cool with. And then, unfortunately, Rice didn't fall into him at the 4-5. I probably would have taken Chuba at the 4-5. I'm not a big Evans guy this year. Roman Wilson is there, duh. Yeah, I know. You got me there, man. So there goes JMO at the 5'11". A lot of people putting a lot of thought into these picks here, and I don't blame you because it gets really, really gross. It gets really gross. Yeah, not super pretty in this range. Bryce said, I told you teammate is going Hunter, then he's going deep around 6 if he falls. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. DJ Moore is not that guy. Ark thinks DJ Moore is not that guy. Is the hope of drafting Olave that he gets traded? I don't get taking him this early. So Olave has essentially transcended a really bad quarterback play since he's been with the Saints. And he's still productive. So again, at 5th round prices, I think it's totally worth taking him there. I don't think anyone's counting on him being traded. I think people are just counting on him being the wide receiver 1 there and being productive. If you've seen his reception perception, it's very good. He's a very solid route runner. It's not going to take much for him to get targets. He just has to stay on the field. That honestly is why he's going at a discount. So we got 274 watching right now and only 54 likes. Drop a like, guys. Appreciate you all joining. Drop a like if you're here. And if you want to be a part of one of these live leagues, we're literally doing we're doing a ton of these throughout the entire month of August, all the way up until the start of the season. September 4th, I think, is the first day of the season, that Thursday night game. But if you want to join one of these live leagues, if you want a guaranteed spot in one of these live leagues, head over to flockfantasy.com/domain. I will drop it in the comments here for you guys. flockfantasy.com/domain. There is a season pass that we're offering right now for redrafters. The season pass is only $34 for full access to the site and all of our rankings, our community, all of our draft guides, everything. $34 for the entire season. The entire season. And not only do you get all that access, again, I repeat, we will guarantee you a spot in one of these Real Money Live leagues. If you want to get in one of these Real Money Live leagues, there's a lot of hype around them right now. A lot of people are wanting to get into these leagues. We can guarantee you we'll get in one of these leagues if you sign up for the season pass over at flockfantasy.com/domain. You have to use code domain, and we will get you taken care of. There goes Rome at the 6-1 and Flowers at the 5-12. Those are the correct picks. Good job, T-Mac. Antonio said, like, done. Season pass is no joke, man. It seriously, like, hands down, it's one of the best deals that we've offered on the site. It's generally like if you don't use a code, it's like more than $50. You get a 30% discount. So that's why it's only $34 is when you use code domain, you get it for $34 instead of like 50 plus. Steelers also have Arthur Smith's favorite player, Jonnu, so DK going to be the second most targeted guy now. that is possible. I mean, you don't put anything past Arthur Smith. All that to say, I do think Arthur Smith gets a bad rap from the fantasy community because of what happened to not Drake London, not Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. People hate him because of what happened to Kyle Pitts, and guess what ended up happening? Jonnu Smith was just better than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts sucks. So I will say Arthur Smith kind of gets a bad rap as a play caller. As a head coach, he should have gotten criticized because he was not using consistently his most talented players in Bijan and London. He was splitting the backfield with Tyler Algier, and Bijan Robinson objectively better. But outside of that, honestly, like when you put Arthur Smith in an offensive coordinator situation, he is very effective and he is a very good play caller. And he will put his players in the best position possible when Mike Tomlin is telling him, hey, get the ball to my best playmaker here. Get the ball to DK Metcalf. You just need a head coach to keep Arthur Smith in check. And that's, I mean, how do you think Arthur Smith got the head coaching job to begin with? Because he was a good offensive coordinator. So I wouldn't take away. I think it's always funny that like Arthur Smith, you just say Arthur Smith and it's like, oh, that's a reason that you're worried about the situation. Why? Like he's fine. Like he's a neutral in my book. George Pickens had one of his best seasons last year when he was healthy in an Arthur Smith offense. All right, Nate, whose team are you liking here? I mean, other than mine, right? No, seriously, though, I love DK Metcalf's team. I would have rather taken Chuba here at the 4-6, but still going double wide receiver up top with CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown is ridiculous to still then land Hampton and Cook, and then you get Worthy in the 5th. I also think Trav D cleaned up pretty well here as well. He got running backs in Bucky and Breece Hall. This looks very, very similar to Avery's team. Avery wanted Rasheed here. He couldn't land him because he went at the 4-3, so he had to take quarterback there with Lamar in the 4th. But you ended up cleaning up wide receiver here. You look pretty good. There goes Kelsey at the 6-5. That's earlier than where I'm used to seeing him go. He usually goes 7th round or even 8th. But maybe not in real money drafts. To be clear, Nathan, I was in the league last night. Can I get in another live draft league? Or no, only get one. If there are spaces open, Denick, we can we've got that sign up sheet. So as long as you're in that sign up sheet and there are open spots, then I can't guarantee anything, but we're working on getting first timers in first, and then any second timers we'll see if there's a spot for you guys. But yes, Denick, we can, if you want to send us a DM or whatever for the next live league to see if there are any spots, like feel free to always just reach out. Last thing we want to do is like limit league activity. Like if you guys want to be in the league, then like we'll do everything we can to get you in a league. The guarantees, the first time guarantees go for season passes and stuff. So, first championship last season was 12th the year prior. Watching these podcasts has been so instrumental. Thanks. Happy to help, Antonio. Thanks for joining in too. Would you really focus Trey Henderson over James Cook? I feel like Cook was blowing up last season. Cook did blow up. Dang it. There goes Quinshon Judkins at the 6-6. That's a really good price. I think it's worth taking on the Judkins risk in the 6th round. Some people think I'm stupid for that. Some people think I'm wrong for saying that. Some people wouldn't even take him in the 7th, which I think is insane. I think Quinshon Judkins in the 6th is great. That's where I would take him. Yeah, I mean, Cook, if you look at him last year, his efficiency, his receiving usage, his volume, everything went down and his touchdowns went up. So it was honestly where he was getting usage in the red zone, which is good and bad in that, like, hey, he wasn't as efficient. I'm a little bit worried that he might regress. He's another regression candidate this season, possible regression candidate, but his price isn't outlandish. So bet y'all liked Adam Gase too. Not after we saw what he did with his eyes during that press conference. No, I think we were always skeptical of Adam Gase. Honestly, that was so long ago. I don't really remember how I felt about it, and I honestly didn't care because the Jets just sucked. I'm pretty sure I just assumed that they were going to suck regardless. But Adam Gase, I think even Colts fans knew that, like, anyone who gets a job just because they work with Peyton Manning does not guarantee that they're a good offensive coordinator or good head coach. So, yeah. I think Colts fans more than anything were skeptical because we knew that the sheriff ran the offense. Mets are cooking this deadline. Yeah, apparently. Making moves, man. Kelsey's a shot called. Yes, it is. Love my Andrews pick last night after the Likely news. Yeah, I mean, Likely is probably going to miss the start of the season. He has to get surgery, doesn't he? I will say if Andrews' value is going to go up because of that, I will not touch him. Yeah, Bo, I'm picking at the first spot. Nathan, what are your thoughts on Tet McMillan's value at ADP? On best ball, he's going in the early 40s because people go for highest ceiling possible, but on ESPN, he goes 65 to 70. He's a much better value in ESPN, and I'll leave it at that. Likely is likely to miss. Yes, he is. Okay, I'm almost up here. So we've got, wow, Shakir in the 6th. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. That's a pick right there. Laporta at the 6'11 is pretty good value. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, let's go, guys. Okay, I know what my first pick's going to be. Monty fell to me at the 6'12. I'm 100% taking Montgomery because there's a big fall off at running back after that, and that pretty much solidifies my running back room. Okay. So let me just make that pick now. And then I got 2 minutes to pick my wide receiver. Because I think I am going to go wide receiver here. So suspension obviously expected with Jordan Addison, hence why he's fallen. Godwin's status is up in the air. Ridley in a risky situation. Big fall off after this. I'm going to go ahead and take Addison, even with the suspension stuff. I feel really, really good that a running back fell back to me. I was praying specifically that Montgomery would make it all the way back to me, and he did. I've seen Monty go in the early 6th, late 5th, so in mocks. So people clearly are not willing to put their money where their mouth's at with Montgomery, which is good to know. Do you guys remember where Monty went in yesterday's draft and Avery's draft? Let me know. I don't remember. I just feel like this year for redrafts, Najee and Hampton are going to split more for more weeks during the year than people think. I don't know. I mean, I think that would be that was a good point, but now like Najee blew up his eye. So I don't know what his status is going to be and when he's going to get going in training camp. Hampton's getting all the reps right now, which is a big deal. Next year, Hampton's going to eat though as a top 2 round back. Next year, he definitely will. This year, I think he will too. I mean, what's the difference between next year and this year? For a guy drafted in the first round in a Greg Roman offense, I'm telling you, man, this might be the last time you'll ever get Hampton at that price. The only way to join is the annual Mother Flocker or the season passes, or is there a free way to get in one? Bryce, we don't do free entries for the paid live leagues. These are for our members only on the site. But if you want to get like a taste of what is really being offered on the site, there is a free trial option where you can get full access to everything for 7 days on the site, our Discord and everything. Just get a taste of what it's like. Again, you don't have to if you're not comfortable with it. That's totally fine. I will say the season pass for $34 for the rest of the year is going to be one of the better deals that we offer on the site. But again, if you're not comfortable with it, that's totally okay. You can still try it out and see what you think about it with the free trial without having to pay anything. So totally understand if you're not willing to do it though. Monty over Swift, Roshan going to be the goal line guy. Yeah, possible. So Ridley was another guy that I was looking at there at the 7-2. I think that was a good pick. I think Aaron Jones is a good pick. That's generally where Aaron Jones goes at the 7th in the early 7th round. What'd you guys think about the Addison and Monty picks? Hey, by the way, RWP, I think you had a great pick there with Sam Laporta at the 6'11". I think that was a really, really good pick. I'm not a big Laporta guy, and I would have legit been forced to take Laporta if he fell to me at the 6'7" turn. Monty went 6'08" last night. Okay, cool. So I do feel good about that pick. It's weird that we haven't seen pictures or videos of Najee at all. We did see him in his hoodie with his like giant shades on. Must be more serious than reported. Yeah, I mean it's enough for him not to play. I mean, can't you just play like with an eye patch on or something? Shakir greater than Addison. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think his upside's nearly as high as Addison's, that's for sure. For Addison being my 4th wide receiver on this team, like I'm pretty cool with that. JJ McCarthy may struggle to feed Aaron Jones, JJ, Addison, and Hawk. I just feel like we said the same thing about Sam Darnold. And no, I don't think that McCarthy is going to be a top 6 to 9 tight end or 6 to 9 quarterback. Nice. But I think the question should be, can KOC feed Aaron Jones, JJ, Addison, and Hawk? We've just seen it too many times with too many different talented and not talented quarterbacks. Like Addison and JJ were eating and Hawkinson was eating when freaking Nick Mullins was a quarterback. Why is everyone low on Myers? Good question. It's the mystery of every season. I wouldn't have gone Ridley. Ward is an older rookie that did feed his top target. Or I would have gone Ridley. Ward is an older rookie that did feed his top targets at the 3 schools he played at, but it's the NFL. I really like Ridley this year. That's why I consider Ridley. You are not wrong. I think that Ridley could eat this year. He's eating in training camp right now. Pictures of him standing on the sideline talking about Najee. Yeah. Shakir will 100% outscore Judkins in the first half of the season. Not unless Judkins gets every carry. Crap, guys. Everybody in DFF, just all the people that are following us, everybody taking Warren in the 7th round. I don't know how I feel about Tyler Warren in the 7th round. I love him in the 9th. But for as much as I like Tyler Warren, here's the thing though. Everybody else going in that range, okay, I kind of talked myself back into it. It's not a bad pick. It's not. Because look who's available there. Brian Robinson? Who else are you going to take? Okay, it's no less ugly than literally any other pick going in this range right now. So no, I don't think you're wrong taking Tyler Warren. I just get annoyed because I want Tyler Warren to fall to me, and he never does. By never, I mean the first draft that I got. So no, I can't get Tyler Warren in every draft, so I guess it's fine this time. I'm high on Shakir. I don't think 6th round high, but he's a guy in Buffalo. He just missed the spike weeks last year. Yeah, it's just tough because schematically he really is a one-trick pony. And by one-trick pony, I generally don't like to affiliate exclusive slot with bad, but limited slot receiver I affiliate with low upside. And Shakir is a small, limited upside, like can only run out of the slot, small wide receiver who's not going to be like a crazy target hog. So they spread the ball out too much. Could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I have a hard time trusting a rookie QB to get 2 fantasy viable players, let alone 3. Depends on what rookie QB you're talking about. JJ is just a rookie. Sam Darnold had multiple years in the league studying and had starting experience when he went to the Vikings. I mean, so did Nick Mullins, I guess. JJ McCarthy has a year of studying experience. He was hurt last year, so I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the best idea to not bet on Jordan Addison in the 7th round. It's all about price. Like, this is not me saying that you're wrong in your take with JJ McCarthy. I think there is inherent risk betting on anyone beyond betting on anyone beyond Justin Jefferson at a certain price. But the 7th round, guys, Jordan Addison will be my last flex option. Heck, I might not even flex him. He might be on my bench some weeks. Because you're going 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, and then 6 starters at running back and wide receiver. I might flex Monty in my last spot before I flex Addison. So, why not take the shot? Ha, Avery yelled at me last night for taking Warren 7-11. You guys listen to us too much, man. Crap. Warren going up so much. I mean, he should. He's just better than everyone else in that room, except for maybe Josh Downs. Ugh. If you're a top 15 pick in the NFL draft at the tight end position with the skill set that Tyler Warren has, I don't know why you wouldn't want to take a shot at him in the 7th, 8th, 9th round. Late 7th. Again, if he keeps going higher and higher, like we're going to get to a point where I'm not comfortable drafting him, but golly, like he's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th tight end off the board. That's so merited. That is so fair. That's so fair. If Tyler Warren finishes at the tight end 7, then he at the very least return on investment in the 7th round. Myers over Warren. Ben's a Myers truther, man. Bowers changed the rookie tight end game last season and he went around 9th to 10th. Yeah, that was the best draft pick that I made in the Flock League, and then I screwed it up during the season. I drafted really well last year and I self-imploded. Bowers is my biggest regret. Biggest shot called, biggest regret. Warren is going to be Kelsey and Taysom Hill combined. Oh my gosh, let it be true. With a sprinkle of Josh Allen. Hey, you heard it here first, guys. Tyler Warren's the next franchise quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He'd be better than AR and Daniel Jones. He has more starting experience as a quarterback than AR does, too, because he actually played quarterback in college, or in high school. Not college, high school. I'm joking about that, by the way. That's a joke. I'd love to see a video of you guys going through ESPN ADP and talking about best values in that wacky ADP. Yeah, we mentioned ESPN ADP quite a bit in some videos, and we'll get it more into that later. The thing about talking about exclusive ESPN ADP is that that then excludes every other platform. So we like talking about different ADP platforms all in the same video. Clipping this Warren talk and sending it to Avery. Dude, I don't think Avery's wrong for saying I don't know if he's... Avery's not necessarily wrong for being hesitant to take Tyler Warren in the 7th. You should not trade for the first 3 weeks of the Flock League. Thank you. I will take your advice on that. Unless I get a good bargain. Unless, you know, I get the chance to trade Bowers for Dallas Goedert, then I'll do that. So, interesting run here. Godwin falling all the way to the 7-7. I mean, before the training camp stuff came out, Godwin was going in the 4th round. Godwin might be one of the best values in the draft here. DK is literally just cleaning up. Mooney, that's a little earlier than I'm used to or comfortable seeing Mooney go, but it's still okay. This has just been a great draft from DK. 230 people watching. We got 79 likes. Drop a like if you haven't already, guys. And again, if you have not seen already, we are doing these live leagues all throughout August. And we just launched the season pass option on the site, flockfantasy.com/domain. Use code domain. Get the season pass for $34. The season pass gives you access to all of our features on the site, including our draft guides, updated rankings that'll be weekly. You'll get 2 free start sit questions, 2 free trade questions automatically. $34 for all that access on the site all the way through the end of 2025. It's like 5 months of unlimited content, guys, from 4 different creators. Use code domain. You'll get our exclusive Discord, domain Discord as well, which I'm telling you is probably one of the most valuable features that we can offer. And oh, by the way, if you want to get in one of these leagues, get that season pass. We will guarantee you a spot in one of these live leagues. If you sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier as well, if you decide to do that instead and you want to get a full year's access, you get a free team review voucher that way, and also we will pay for your league buy-in. You'll get a guaranteed spot, and we'll pay for your league buy-in if you sign up with the annual Mother Flocker tier. Just going out on a limb with that one for DFFers. SZ says, can I join? Yes, you can join, brother. Season pass using code domain. We will guarantee you a spot in one of these leagues. Okay, I'm almost up here. There goes Baker at the 810. Reed, Jennings, Ingram, Scattaboo. This is where it starts to get disgusting, guys. This is where it gets not pretty. Ben Clemmy says, I like the 102 a lot this year. Yeah, it's not bad. Tenix said, wait, season pass owners get more trade questions than annual Mother Flockers? Did I hear that? Well, you guys get a team review voucher. But yeah, season pass, two free start sit questions, 2 free trade questions. So 4 advice vouchers. Yeah, Reed's a good value this year. Okay, I'm up. Here we go. Jaden Higgins goes. What to do? What to do? Okay, running back and wide receiver for me looking pretty solid right now. I am more confident this year, I think, in Jonnu than I am in Andrews or in Njoku than I am in Jonnu and Andrews. I think enough for me to just go ahead and take my tight end now. I'll take Njoku here. And then in the off chance, this isn't a bad price point. In the off chance that I am wrong about JSN or Cooper Kupp is more productive than expected or some sort of injury happens, I'll just take Kupp. I'm not going to lie. I feel pretty good about this draft. Let's look at the roster here. Kyron, Henderson, Chase, JSN, and Njoku, DK, Monty, and then Addison and Kupp on my bench. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Other guys that I think should feel pretty good about themselves right now. DK Metcalf. This was an unorthodox draft strategy, and I don't hate it, Owen. This is not bad. T-Mac, you almost have too many wide receivers, bro. You already have three wide receivers on your bench. If anything happens to Achane or Kamara during the season, you're going to be in big trouble. At least you got those guys, though. At least you got them. At least if Kamara had not fallen to you, you would have been in a world of hurt. How many teams only have 2 running backs? T-Mac, Trav, Owen, and RWP. Holy cow, four teams through 8 rounds only have 2 running backs on their team. I got by on the skin of my teeth with 3 running backs that I feel pretty good about. What is 12 doing? He is making sure that he's got no issues at wide receiver, and I don't think he's going to have any issues there. Chicago Bears 1022. Appreciate you, man. Please send me a DM on Discord. Send me a DM on Discord. Welcome in. I'll welcome you in. We'll make sure we get you in one of these live leagues for the month of August. If you wanna sync your Discord, you can just do that in your My Accounts page on the site, and then you'll have full access to all of our channels on Discord for the entire season. So, super pumped to have you as a part of the community, brother. Welcome in. I think Land just dropped their draft guide. Mason just dropped his draft guide. Our draft guide's coming out this week as well, and FSC is on their way too. So we've got other tools coming out to help you with your drafts in August as well. So Mega Calf is about to get an Andrews fall here to complete the goated 7th team. Yeah, we'll see who he ends up taking here. Worthy if you want upside, Ridley for Flo Gaskins. Yeah, I think Worthy in the 5th is fine. I think that's fine. Worthy's floor is like super low. I will say, as much as I like Worthy's upside, I like Worthy a lot more in best ball than I do in regular redrafts, and 97% of fantasy football is regular redraft. So, and there goes Andrews. Brad literally just going out of his way to try and snipe DK, assuming that he wanted Mark Andrews there. DK didn't even think. He didn't even think when Andrews went. He just wanted Jordan Mason. I don't know, Brad. I don't think you needed to take 2 tight ends there. Dub, Chicago Bears. Heck yeah, man. Welcome in, brother. Bears Insider. Yeah, actually, Chicago Bears 1022. I want to hear from you, assuming you're a diehard Chicago Bears fan, since that is your username. DJ Moore or Rome Odunze this year? Go. Who's the wide receiver 1? Use your crystal ball. Tell us, and I will literally take your word for it. Unless I disagree with you. Then I won't. Ayuk comes in and replaces Addison later in the year. What? They're not on the same team. What you talking about, Willis? Higgins over Golden is wild. Yeah, no, I agree there. Not super high on Golden this year, but in the 9th round, you may as well take your shot. You may as well. That's your second bench spot. Trade question giveaway. I need thorough analysis. Besides, it's a pretty even deal, TBH. Yeah, I'll do a trade question. I'll do a trade question giveaway. Colts going to beat Dolphins first week. No, the Colts have not won an opening day game since 2014. So it's been 11 years since we've won opening day. So no, we will not. And it's because our coaching staff, our front office, our team is never ready to start the season when it actually starts. When it happens that many years in a row, it is not coincidence. The Indianapolis Colts are soft. Nathan, for your team, I thought you should have went Ayuk over Kupp. One of them's going to play and the other one's not. So that's why. I understand that Ayuk could have upside at the end of the season, but again, at the end of the season doesn't matter if you can't get to the end of the season. So I would rather take the shot on Kupp, honestly. There are just as many questions with Ayuk coming off the ACL as there are with Kupp, who's lost a couple steps. So I love how I talked down on Kupp like at the very beginning of the stream, and then I end up having to take him at the 9-1. I was trying to defend what I would have done at your position at the 9-1. Yeah, no, it's fair. Chicago Bears thinks, I'm thinking Rome seems like he still has that connection with Caleb. Boom. I'll take your word for it, bro. I think Rome's the guy this year, and he's going at a cheaper price than DJ Moore. How many weeks until Loveland becomes top 10? 18 weeks. Oops. Yeah, I'm not super big on Loveland this year. I could eat my words. You know what would be super ironic is if I go out of my way to be like the biggest Warren truther, and then Loveland ends up being the Bowers of this year. Like, that would be insane. But also not impossible given the history of tight ends in a Ben Johnson offense. Loveland could end up being one of the biggest steals of the draft. Like, honestly, deep down, it terrifies me that I could be dead wrong about the Warren and Loveland takes. Dead wrong. Loveland was drafted over Tyler Warren in the NFL draft. And you saw Sam Laporta's usage as a rookie in a Detroit Lions offense that was overcrowded. I just don't think he's the same type of guy heading into his rookie season. We haven't heard the same reports out of training camp that we did with Laporta, where Laporta was lining up on the outside, on the slot, all this different stuff. Loveland's more of like your stereotypical traditional tight ends that has really good hands and route running ability, but he's going to be more of like, he's probably going to block more to start out potentially. I could be so wrong. Loveland's running with the ones already. I mean, yeah, that's definitely expected. He was a top 10 pick. Came out with the twos, and I've heard Colson been running snaps in the slot. Okay, so that is interesting. Yeah. That is interesting. I don't know if you can pinpoint when, though. I definitely think Loveland's going to be good. I just don't know when, right? Love Loveland as a receiving tight end prospect in his situation. Hate how crowded the Bears offense is. Yeah. That's the thing that nags at me deep down. I'm like, golly, we were saying the same thing about Sam Laporta before, and he was a second-round pick. They spent a top 10 pick on Colson Loveland. I think Loveland's a better tight end. Warren is a better receiver. As a Colts fan, play very different roles, and that is also where like that's why I'm more of a Warren truther this year in terms of fantasy upside. This season as a rookie, I think Warren's got more of an immediate impact. None of these tight ends are in Bowers tier IMO. People are wanting Lightning to strike twice. They're both great, but I don't see it. Fuji, I agree with you. I don't think that either of these guys are Brock Bowers. If they're 60 to 70% of Brock Bowers, they were a good pick at price. Brock Bowers finishes the tight end 1. If Warren finishes as a top 6 to 8 tight end, he was a good pick. Spears and Bigsby go here at the turn. T-Mac trying to salvage his running back room. Those are the picks that you have to go with if you want to try and salvage it. And honestly, they're not bad picks. Brandon Ayuk goes at the 9-10. Again, I've been having a lot of Brandon Ayuk conversation. Spoiler alert, Ayuk's off my board. Another thing I could eat my words on, but he's off my board because I know I can get him at a cheaper price later in the season. Oh, look, I'm getting real small here. Shrinking the screen. Moving the comments over a little bit too. I saw a clip of Loveland lead blocking for Caleb on a read option. Interesting. Yeah, but also not a shocker. I mean, he's a pretty good blocker, which is great as a well-rounded tight end, but for fantasy purposes, how much is he going to be blocking versus lining up as a receiver? Loveland doesn't have to be Bowers to be a good pick in the 8th round. I completely agree, Bobby. And he didn't even go in the 8th. He went in the 9th round. So that's honestly earlier than I'm used to seeing Loveland go. It's not a zero-sum game. Warren and Loveland both can be good choices. Loveland absolutely has more risk this year. Thank you for bringing me back to earth, KT Aggie. I feel like part of it is I'm scared to be wrong about another Colts player because like Avery and I, we joke about always being wrong about Colts players. We just whiffed so hard on Anthony Richardson, and we were wrong about Michael Pittman last year, but we've killed the down stuff at every turn since he came into the league. So we've got that going for us. The JT stuff has been fine. Like it's been pretty neutral. So like we really just whiffed hard on Anthony Richardson and everything else has been pretty neutral. So across the board. I honestly just think I'm afraid that not only am I going to be screwed as a Colts fan, but it's going to screw me as a fantasy analyst too. Like this is the one that I feel really, really good about this one. Cause even in redraft last year, we were like, you don't have to take AR in the 5th round. Like that's a pretty high price even for a Russian QB who does have questions. And he was a quarterback, but like for a tight end going at, such a palatable price. Like it's just, it just feels good. Nate has PTSD from Ballard making safe draft picks. Tell me about it, dude. Freaking tell me about it. Good gosh. Would you rather have Chris Ballard as your GM or Brian Gutekunst? I'd rather have Ballard, by the way. As you know, a non-biased Colts fan. Ironic. So here's your QB run going. Nix, May, Prescott, Kraft goes here in the 10th. Coleman, then you got Shaheed, Harris, Bateman. Nice Bo Nix pick. I totally agree. That was a good pick. I think Drake May is the upside pick of the year going in the 10th round. If his rushing upside pays off in a Mike Vrabel offense, then you are swimming in production. Absolutely swimming in production upside. And I bet you $1 million that when we get to the Flock League, Drake May will not be going in the 10th. He'll not be going in the 9th or the 8th or the 7th. He will probably be going in the 6th round, and it will be Corey or Danny that takes him there. There's always, literally, when you get into the Flock League, take all your draft strategy notes, take everything that you expect in terms of like where these players are actually going to go, throw it out the window, and it is complete and utter anarchy and chaos. Like that is what it's like drafting in the Flock League. I mean, you've got 4 different channels, 4 different channels with 7 different creators, sprinkle in a dev, sprinkle in a fan as well. And you have all these people on totally opposite spectrums of like opinions and what they've been teaching or what they've been telling people on their channels in terms of draft strategy. It could not be like more different across the board. Marvin Mims in the 10th. What? Holy, we are not in best ball. And this right here, folks, is why fading quarterback is the best move of all time. Such a good move. Oh man, there's a lot of QBs I like here. Good gosh. Okay, now's the time where I am okay handcuffing. I will take my handcuff in Ramondre. I just think that's the smart move in the 11th round, essentially. And then I'll take my QB. Tell me, guys, should I go Kyler or Purdy? I think it's a totally even split. Your safety probably is with Purdy. And your upside is with Kyler, potentially. I mean, I don't know. Upside, Purdy is pretty dang productive. Good gosh, before he went down with the injury, look at all this. Literally, like, always 20 points. 20 points every single week. Oh, no, those were projections. He had some 30-point games, too. Goff, Purdy, Kyler, Purdy. Kyler. All right. Brock Purdy it is. Brock Purdy is more consistent. I'm happy either way. Happy either way. Purdy with a healthy Kittle and CMC is a great pick. Yeah. Purdy was that productive last year with no CMC and no Ayuk and no Pearsall. Like, Pearsall is actually going to be playing this year. So, and a Debo with pneumonia. I don't know, dude. Maybe Purdy's just good. Like, which, like, I've always believed that he's good. I'm just saying. Like, I think he's a great pick in the 10th round. Yes, please. Glock Purdy. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. I had Kyler last year, too. Here's the thing. My experience with Kyler last year is that the games that he won me weeks were very, very minimal. And the ones where he cost me weeks, like, they well outweighed the ones where he won me ones. And I do remember for multiple weeks there, I was starting Russell Wilson over Kyler Murray. And what I wouldn't give to have had Brock Purdy. And I do think there's definitely an avenue where Kyler Murray can be more consistent this year, but I don't know. Like, the upside supposedly favors Kyler Murray, but why was Purdy better last year, and why was his upside higher? Goff outperformed Purdy and Kyler per game last season. You're correct. And Ben Johnson is no longer a part of that offense, so that's a little bit of a worry. But I don't think that you're wrong necessarily, because I did consider Goff there as well. Marvin Mims had 27% of snaps last year. If he didn't put up 30 points randomly in the playoffs, winning people a lot of money, he'd be drafted 3 rounds later this year. I agree with you, Fuji. That's the highest I've ever seen Marvin Mims go. You probably had to go way down draft boards to get him there. Not paying up for a QB in the first 5 rounds, there's so much value farther down the draft. Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield in the 8th or Jalen Hurts in the 4th. They both scored the same amount of points last year. Show player card. $381 points in 17 games. 320 points in 15 games. On a points per game basis, you end up being close to this. Baker was just better. Fields in the 11th is not a bad pick either. Absolutely agree. It wasn't fun at all. Yeah. Really narrative with Purdy, even in fantasy, he's solid. Yeah, no, 100% is narrative. I don't think I'll ever understand why are people not, like, excited to see Mr. Irrelevant be incredible at football? Like, why can't we have fun and enjoy watching the last pick in the NFL draft help carry a team to a Super Bowl? Like, Purdy is objectively fun to watch. I mean, some of the high IQ throws that he makes across the middle of the field consistently is It's top 10 quarterback play. Purdy got the bag. Now he's going to crap the bed. I don't know, man. I don't know what we've seen from him to think that that's going to happen necessarily. But hey, I mean, if it does, we're playing in a 1 QB league. I'll just go get someone else. Avery kept shouting what out? The Purdy stuff or the Mims stuff or Purdy stuff? Niners are evil. Are they really? Are you just a Cowboys fan, Cameron? I think you're a Cowboys fan. Just shows the NFL isn't as good at scouting as they think. Yeah, I will say they are better than we are. They're not perfect, but they are better than we are. All right, guys, we got 94 likes. Drop a like if you haven't already. Got 180 people watching right now as we're nearing the end of the draft. But people say these last few rounds don't matter, and they can be pretty pivotal. You can get some pretty good values in this range. We'll see what we end up going with here. But again, these live leagues, we are doing these live leagues the entire month of August. Sign up for the season pass using code domain. That's flockfantasy.com/domain. I'll drop it in the chat here. $34 flat fee, $34 for complete access to the site for the entire season, all the way through the end of 2025. That's every single draft guide on the site from all 4 channels: FSE, Land, Mason, us, Domain. We're dropping ours this week. And you get all of our weekly rankings as well. Our weekly rankings, our rest of season rankings, our preseason rankings are out right now that I'm updating on a weekly basis. Everybody is updating on a weekly basis at the moment. And you get 2 free start sit vouchers and 2 free trade question vouchers as well. So Bo just signed up for the season pass and gave us a shout out in the Discord. Bo, you are the man. Appreciate you signing up. Yeah, give us a shout out in the Discord. Feel free to send me a DM, say hi, send me a friend request. I'll say what's up. Super pumped for you to join the community. I'm telling you, dude, the domain Discord that you have full access to now is the most active Discord I've literally ever been a part of in my entire life. Like, it is constantly popping. Especially, I mean, once you get to the season, the start sit stuff, just the advice that you get, not only from us, but from like everyone in the community, it's super uplifting. It's super beneficial. We have a ton of super smart guys in our community that are just willing to help each other out all the time. You can put out polls, put out stuff that people will vote on constantly. I'm telling you, the bang for your buck is totally worth it. So super pumped that you joined, Bo. Nihal said, if you sign up for the season passes, there's still a buy-in to get into a league. Yeah, they are low buy-ins, though. We'll guarantee you a spot in those leagues. We are doing $20 leagues right now. So they're, again, low stakes, not like $100 leagues, right? So we might do a couple of like higher stakes leagues, but most of our leagues are, this one's a $20 buy-in. So we will guarantee you a spot in there. And the payout structure is like $204 to the winner and like $36 to second place. So you get like your buy-in back plus some extra cash if you make the championship. And then if you win, you get most of the pot. So KT Aggie knows what's up. All right, guys. Chris says, did I miss a trade voucher drawing memo? Yes, I'm going to do this right now. Trade 69. If you put trade 69 in the chat, I will randomly draw from you guys, and I will give you guys like 2 free trade questions. You got to be here to claim your reward, though. So trade 69. Jaden Blue, Trey Benson. I will say Trey Benson is a really solid pick this year, especially, did you draft James Conner? No, you did not. Who drafted James Conner here? Paraka was probably crying that he couldn't get Trey Benson in the 11th, actually. That would have been a nice handcuff to get. Honestly, I don't know if I'm comfortable drafting James Conner if I don't get Trey Benson this year. Rashad White, Najee Harris, Sampson, handcuffs here. The Judkins owner did not get Sampson either. He passed up on the handcuff with Judkins, and he took the Najee handcuff instead. I'm surprised you did that, DK Metcalf, because the one that's actually in suspension that's at risk of at least starting the season slow would be Judkins. Again, I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I just think it's interesting. Goff, Caleb Williams go with the turn here. T-Mac, that's pretty solid. I like it. Nice comment, Michael. 10x of my chance to get more questions than the past members, baby. Let's go. Igbuka or Chuba in Dynasty? Igbuka. Benson, great value. Yeah, I totally agree. Nihal said, do I sign up with the season pass to get the trade voucher? Yes, Nihal. If you sign up with the season pass, you get 2 free trade vouchers and 2 free start-sit questions. Make sure you use our code, okay? If you just follow this direct link that I drop in here, flockfantasy.com/domain. Make sure you put code domain in there. Sign up for the season pass. You'll get those trade questions applied. And then you can send us a DM. Send me a DM, send Avery a DM, send Tommy Peanuts a DM, and we will get you into one of these live leagues. What are your thoughts on Spears and Dynasty? Band-Aid. I don't think he's really going to be a long-term difference maker. So many wide receivers for T-Mac and still no tight end. Yeah, I mean, he's going the ultimate fade tight end strategy here. Everyone else in the league has a tight end except for him. He'll be the last one to get a tight end. And, that's definitely a strategy to go with. And I will say, I don't want to name drop guys, but I don't necessarily think it's terrible to not take tight end ever until the last couple of rounds. Nathan, when will we all post an auction video? I don't know. Maybe we'll do an auction video exclusively on the site or something at some point. It's probably an off-season thing that we can do. Are you saying auction for redraft or auction for Dynasty? Existox says, thoughts on my team. Neighbors, T-Mac, Pickens, Pearsall, Ayuk, Quentin Johnson. So essentially, you're riding out these top 3 wide receivers, which is solid. Then you have Henry, Caleb Johnson, B-Rob, Josh Allen, and then your tight end is Kraft. I think you did a pretty decent job. Tootin at the 11-10 was really good value. I like that pick with Tootin. Kraft, I have my reservations on Kraft. I don't think he's super... I'm not the biggest Kraft truther, but I think you getting Allen in the third, late third is good. I think you getting solid wide receivers, solid running backs. I think you're pretty well-rounded across the board. Herbert at the 12-7. Guys, should I have taken Jaden Blue instead of Ramondre at the 10-12? What do you think? Travis's thoughts on my team as well. I'm assuming you're Trav D. I don't know. I kind of broke down yours earlier, Trav, but you got Warren at the 7-9. Your wide receivers are Amon-Ra, Rice, Devonta Smith, Waddle, Igbuka. You got a number of 2s here with some risk in Rashee Rice, but you do have your safety in the floor and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Running back, Bucky, Breece Hall. Then your third running back is Dobbins after you go with tight end in the 7th. Cleaning up at wide receiver here. Your QBs are Nix and Stroud. Again, very well-rounded team. I think you're a little risky at running back. But for not going crazy at running back throughout the draft, I think you're actually in pretty decent shape there. Breece Hall in the 3rd is just such a better value than he was in the mid-1st last year. Spears is this year's Chase Brown. Worst take I've heard, Nathan. Worse than your Golden Love. KT Aggie, did you not watch the Dynasty video today? I don't have Golden Love. Parakwa says, how much do you hate my team? Oh, Parakwa, I hate it so much. Just kidding. Puka, Higgins. Oh, golly. So, yeah, I think Shakir was a reach. I think Pollard was a reach. Jennings was a good pick. Warren is an acquired taste. Harris is just personally off my board. I don't think he's going to produce, period. I don't think he's going to produce at all. If you look at wide receiver twos historically in Greg Roman offenses, it is the most disgusting thing of all time. Walker, Connor as your top two running backs, very, very risky. Puka, Higgins is a great start at wide receiver. Bowers, obviously, you have, and then you have Fields, super risky. A lot of risk, I think pretty low floor as well. I mean, that is risk, is low floor. So, yeah, I think what I would go back and change, Parak, was the Shakir pick. I think I'd be a lot more comfortable with your draft if you had changed your Shakir pick and taken even Montgomery instead. Owen, how did I do? Did I make up for taking a second running back late? Yeah, I think you ended up fine at running back. Gibbs, Swift, Charbonnet, nothing to write home about. But for taking taking a tight end and QB in the top 7 rounds, it's just what you're sacrificing. Your wide receiver room is pretty clean. Ladd, Marv, Evans, and then Reed as well. So if you're going to win, it's because of your strength at wide receiver. Okay, no more wide receivers for me. I will go with... I'll take a running back. I'll take... I'll take Jerome. I think. Ugh, disgusting. That is disgusting. I'll take Jerome Ford, and then I'll take Jonnu. Jonnu's a really good value in the 13th. Hey, you're talking about a top 5 tight end last year, right? Yeah, I tied him 4. Arthur Smith adores him. I mean, look at that bargain. I took Njoku in the 8th, and I almost took Jonnu there, and he ends up falling 5 rounds. So that's good with me. I literally only took Ford in the off chance that Judkins doesn't start the season. And if that's the case, you know who I'm leveraging in the league. DK Megacalf, I'm coming for you. Just kidding. You have plenty of insurance to mess with if you don't have Judkins. You have, honestly, DK, you probably have the best team in the league. Though, I don't know, man. I feel like I had a pretty good draft here. Look at my roster. Purdy, Kyron, Henderson, Chase, JSN, Njoku, Monty, DK. And I'm benching Addison and Kupp, and then I've got some insurance plays with Ramondre Ford and Jonnu Smith. Jonnu could be the actual wide receiver on the team, wide receiver 2 on the team. Yeah, no, dude, like seriously. I don't think I've ever been more excited about a 13th round pick. Like, how did I get Jonnu in the 13th round? Where did Jonnu go last night? Jonnu is probably who T-Mac was hoping for. Yeah, I mean, I will say though, T-Mac, like, ain't no way Jonnu was making it all the way back to the 13-12. Ain't no way, because DK Megacalf hasn't taken a tight end either. The dude with no tight end is crying. Yeah, we got 2 guys with no tight end that are crying. DK and T-Mac. Best part is last pick is Nathan, so we get to see all the draft and get extended stream time. Actually, I don't have the last pick. Here, let me move the comments up so you can see who's going in the last round here. I'll cover the top. You guys don't need to see. There we go. Let's do this. Boom. Comments up top for you. I'll tell you who the last 2 picks are, since my screen is already tiny. Would you take Algier for the off chance Bijan gets hurt? In the 13th, I literally don't care. Sure. Nate just got lucky. A couple guys fell to him. Are you saying it's not all talent, Ben? I got lucky with Montgomery. You are correct. Montgomery falling to me made my draft look really, really good. David Elliott said, hey, said the same thing about Ford. He was running back 1 upside if he needs to be the guy in Cleveland, even if he gets replaced midseason. Once everyone links their league to the site, that will be the ultimate decider. Yeah. Johnny went 12-12. 12-12, okay, and then I got him 13-1. Okay, so I got him around later. The tight end running round 13. I know everybody's panicking. I mean, look, for going no tight end, Zach Ertz. Hey, by the way, Zach Ertz last year, top 7 tight end. Ben says, yes, I am, Nate. Okay, fine. Samson, running back 1 season. Okay. All right, guys, as we head into the last couple picks of this draft, drop in the chat who you think your favorite team is, and I'm going to pick a random guy to get a trade question. KT Aggie. KT Aggie gets the 2 free trade questions. Congrats, KT Aggie. Hey, KT Aggie, can you remind me of what your Flock username is, and I'll go apply those vouchers. Miles Sanders is a sneaky solid upside pick this year for the 13th round. And I think Miles Sanders kind of sucks. But hey, you never know. Ertz, there he is, went 13-11 last night. Yeah. KT Aggie, if you're on the stream, got to claim it. Boom, he's here. Cedric Tillman at the 13-10. Miles running with the 1s for the Cowboys. Okay. I would assume everybody else is running with the 1s as well. Blue is also good for them, though. Yes, KT Aggie, you won again. 2 free trade questions. KT Aggie, can you remind me of your Flock username again? Between the Discord usernames, the YouTube usernames, the Flock usernames, I always forget. All right, guys. So as we close out this draft here, live leagues. This is not the last time we're doing live leagues. This is just the beginning. If you want to be a part of one of these, get a guaranteed spot in one of these live leagues. Season pass, $34, access to everything on the site through the end of 2025, weekly rankings, draft guides, the domain community on Discord, which is insanely helpful. It's amazing, super active all the time. Guaranteed spot in one of these leagues, $34 for the entire season. Best deal that we're giving out right now on the site. Use code domain, flockfantasy.com/domain. Use code domain. It is pinned in the comments for you to sign up for the season pass. $34. It's $34 because you get a 30% discount when you use code domain. All right, guys. Here's the final picture. McCarthy goes behind me. Oh, you guys know what's up. They like my team. Just kidding. They like a lot of other teams too. Nathan's team is nice. Team 4 is nice. I'm telling you, dude, DK Metcalf is my favorite team, I think. Deacon Ken. Okay, cool. Cool. I will do that right after the stream here, KT Aggie. Yeah, I don't love Smith at running back too. Denick said, yeah, I won't be choosing spot 5 ever again. I don't think it's a spot. I think it's just some of it was a selection. Like Khalil Shakir, I probably wouldn't have taken. And outside of that, like he kind of spot 5 is a tough situation. So is 4 because a lot of times Bowers falls there, and it just makes it difficult to build up any other position and depth and security there because you have to take Bowers, which might not end up being a bad thing. It might end up being a league-winning thing. So I don't think Parak was even close to out of it. 5 and 6 are a little bit ugly this year. Yeah, they are. It's those tier drop-offs. KT needs all the advice he can get. That's right. All right, guys. That is a wrap. Appreciate you all being here tonight, hanging out with me, watching my first draft of the season. I feel pretty good about it. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel good about your drafts as well. I, for one, am super pumped for the season to get going here, and enjoy the Hall of Fame game tomorrow. I think Avery said he might be doing a pre-Hall of Fame game stream. So, that'll be a blast, a watch party, essentially, for the first 2 series of the game. But again, if you have any questions, if you're a member and want to reach out, got the season pass, feel free to reach out to me on Discord, send me a DM. I'll say, hey, what's up? And super excited to have you guys as a part of the community. Flockfantasy.com/domain, $34 for the season pass. And we'll be doing a lot more of these leagues from here on out. So you guys truly are the best. DFF is really starting to pick up right now. So the content is flying, the live streams are flying, and we're going to be here for you as much as we possibly can. So have a good night, everybody. Happy hump day, and we'll be seeing you soon.